Greetings and welcome back to Smartwatch Ticks. It's an exciting day today. We've got something not just new to show you, but technology that is really moving ahead. We are looking at something that has ECG capability in it, along with, of course, PPG. What in the world am I talking about? Well, you're about to find out. This is a fitness band. Yes, and it does a lot of things like a lot of fitness bands do, but it does them better. At least supposedly, it does them with pizzazz. P-I-Z-Z, right? Pizzazz. Oh, come on, get me in here. I'm wasting everybody's time. We're looking at the ECG heart rate Smartband called the T6, and this one comes to us directly from the manufacturer themselves, Toledo. And we've got a scoop on the inside workings of this thing. What is it and how does it really operate? Let's take a look at the specs. It's a ECG bracelet using ECG+PPG medical grade components. It does blood pressure, heart rate monitoring. It's totally waterproof. Health bracelet. Model T6, running Bluetooth 4.0, covering those different languages. The app we're going to link to is brand new, Go Heart. Haven't seen that one before. It's support for all of these good things. Okay, has an exercise plan. Call or message, it'll show those. The screen size, the battery capacity, standby time 7 days, 2 hours to charge, and basic material is PC. All right. More on that in a minute, but first let's get into it. Let's take a look at this thing. When we open it up, we get the manual in Chinese, hopefully English as well. We've got a little charging thing, which is the standard. We're seeing this a lot on fitness bands. It's like a little clothespin that clamps onto the device with some charging ports, and here it is. This is the unit. Got a little plastic cover that we can take off. And now, anything else? No, that's it. Let's look at this. Well, there's one big glaring silver button in the front, and most of these devices have a button to navigate with. Oftentimes it's invisible, but this time it's metal. And why is it metal? Because on the back we have 2 metal plates. And why do we have these 3 metal plates? So we can make an electrical circuit between your left arm around your wrist and your right arm on the button, and electricity will loop between your hands, through your arms, and across your heart. And that's what's important, because this picks up the electrical signal from your heart. The diodes right here for your pulse rate, that we're used to. This picks up the movement of blood in your capillaries, and it can calculate your pulse rate from the change in that blood movement. But this is what makes this thing really cool. This is ECG. Let's take a look at the manual. In English, it says all of this. Thank you for purchasing it. Okay, the bracelet elements, goes over what those electrodes are. Application download, this is where you get the Go Heart app for iOS or Android, but you can just go to the Google Play Store right now and download the app. You'll need to create an account and log in, but once you do that, you get access to all of the stuff and you can check it out even before you order this thing. It's got sports mode, health mode, there's information about it. Step 1 and step 2, how you actually use it. And what's really fun is you can get the ECG data playback and save as a PDF file your own heart rate, just like at your doctor's office. And then there's the care, how you care for your band. And that's it on the English side. On the other side, you have the manual all in Chinese. And this is it. So let's turn it on. Let's check it out. Let's see what it can do. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm tongue-tied by this one, and that usually doesn't happen. It really doesn't. But this is incredible. And it's even more incredible when you see the app, and you're about to. Let's walk through it real quick. Time, haha, it's 24 hours. It's 3:55 in the afternoon. 12-hour mode, it's available. Your steps, not many, but just a start. Your calories burned, computed by all of the data you put in. The distance you've traveled, not by GPS, but by calibration and calculation, of course, from your information. Then you get into the ECG plus PPG. Whoa, it's flashing down below. Here's the PPG. And here's your blood pressure. And here's the temperature in degrees centigrade. Haven't figured out how to change that, though. Here's what this data looks like. I'm going to press and hold for a moment. It flashes, and now it's accumulating some baseline data before I let go, so I get a really good average to start the reading with. There you go. Now it's calculating the heart rate or pulse using just the green diode. And it vibrated, and there's my reading, 73. Come over here, do the same thing. I'm going to press and hold, get a little flash, getting calibrated, let it go. Should take off on its own in a moment. And now again, using the diode technology, it's calculating my blood pressure. Notice I'm not touching the metal plate, so it's not involving the ECG. This is just PPG. 130/83. When you go in here and you actually touch the button where it says ECG plus PPG, it's going to go for about 30 seconds, and it's collecting the data the same as you're going to see in the app in just a minute. And after the 30 seconds, instead of displaying the results on the screen, because there's a lot of results, it's going to basically tell you, I've got it. It's been recorded, and next time you sync up, it'll send the data to the app. And then it cycles through again. So, all the way through. Oh, and messages if you have any, and find your phone if you're tethered, and then the overall information and a power off button, it looks like. I'm going quickly because it times out. And then it loops again. If you press and hold, you change to the other clock face, which is an analog one. That's it. And you go through them all again. And again, press and hold, and you're back to digital. So you can see all of the data for instantaneous results on your Smartband. However, when you tether it to the app, oh my gosh, look at this app. Oh, it's called Go Heart. Hey, anything that tethers to Go Heart, buy it in a heartbeat. Pun intended. This is the first one. I installed it and I did everything, and then I've uninstalled it. So I want to show it to you right from the very get-go. We launched Go Heart app, and you can create an account, or you can log in with any of these third-party apps. Google's not there, which is sad because I usually log in with Google, but if you have any of these accounts, you can log in. Whoops. And you can also log in once you've created an account, which is exactly what I'm going to do right now. Now, when you log in successfully, which we have done, you come to this first page, which is your overall summary of sports, sleeping, and PPG heart rate. Remember, PPG is your optical heart rate, or pulse, we're going to call it, pulse rate measurement. They're calling it heart rate here. You hit the Health tab and you get to this very busy looking page. You hit this one and you get to Care, which is where it's loading any friends you have that are logged in on the network, so you can, I guess, work with and encourage each other. And you hit Mine, and this is where it has your basic data. And I previously, when I logged in, set up Smartwatch Ticks as my username, and I took all the default settings for the case of this example, and important, it lets you wear it on the left hand or the right hand. And believe it or not, the ECG chart that you'll be seeing shortly will run forward or backward depending on which arm you're actually wearing it on. Wow. Okay, security settings, you can change your password or you can log out again. So you've got all of that basic stuff, plus the ability to set an icon if you want to, and connect a bracelet. Now, the bracelet is on, obviously. You saw it showing its display here a little bit ago. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm going to say connect a bracelet. Bluetooth is on, and look how fast it finds it. And look how fast it connects it. Nobody else has done that like that. It is on, and it is connected. And we're ready to go. The time would be synchronized automatically if it hadn't been. And we can go through all the different settings of things that we can do. Let's do that. User settings, we checked that out. That's all of that stuff. Now, target heart rate or target steps is where you set whatever step count you would like to accomplish in a day. And it will monitor all that through the day and reset at midnight. Your sleep target is how many hours of sleep you want. Hours and minutes. And you can confirm that. Your device management is where we're going to get into. Shake Snapshot actually turns on a camera, and it has the option for you to tag your photos with location if you want to. And I'm going to just wiggle this a little bit while I shake the band. And up, 2, 1, and boom, it's taking a picture. So it's giving you a countdown too. So you can set it up to do selfies and watch it while it's happening. So it's a different kind of its own camera in here. It's not linking to an external camera app. It's working with its own camera app within the app itself. Fine bracelet is going to cause it to vibrate. And it is. I'm going to set it on the camera here. I don't know if that's making sound or not. But it's lighting up an icon and vibrating the bracelet. And then there's operating instructions, which we'll come back to. So device management, here's where it gets fun. For normal use of notification services, you have to open the GoHeart Read Notifications Permissions. And that's right here. And this tells you all the stuff that is going to happen. And this is standard Android information. As you know, you have to enable these things in order to get push notifications. So we've got GoHeart set up. I can turn on an hourly heart rate monitoring process. I can, now this is interesting, set lift the wrist to brighten the screen. Or I can set turn the wrist to brighten the screen. They're different. And that's the first time we've seen that. I can have a call reminder, so it will push when my phone rings to notify me on the band that a call has come in, or a text message. And I can set Do Not Disturb, which looks like it's locked into this time frame, 2200 to 800. I don't see a way of being able to change that. But then you won't get any vibration while you're asleep in your band if you're sleeping with it to collect your sleep time. And more reminders, of course, will take you into all the different apps that they're supported and give you a reminder from those, plus all of the sedentary reminder type things like taking medicine, meetings, your overall sedentary remind. You can set the interval, the start time, and the end time for any of these. So you have multiple recurring alarms that'll vibrate on your wrist when these events come up. And they're selectable by you. 4 of them, which is nice too. We got a lot more robust capabilities. There's individual alarm clock settings that you can do by adding an alarm, at what time you want it, what days of the week you want it, and confirm that, and you'll get vibration when the alarm goes off. Now, here's the fun. 12 or 24-hour format. We are on 24-hour format right now. I can set it to 12-hour, and I can set my measurement to imperial instead of metric. And if I do this, hopefully I'm at 4. You see it changed from 16 to 4. My brightness is a little off. That's why automatic brightness on the camera is setting it to be a little hard to see there. But it's in 12-hour, instantly pushed from the app to the watch. You have firmware that you're running, and you can, I presume, update it if there is any update to come, and then you could, of course, disconnect the device. So lots of robust features in the device management, and that's it, except for operating instructions in the last tab. Let's run through those operating instructions, because this is where we're going to start getting into the important information about what you can do with this watch. Our frequently asked questions talk about health data measurement. First of all, you press on the metal electrode of the device surface when you click the app One Key Measure. For accuracy, please be quiet for 5 minutes and no smoking, drinking coffee, food, or drugs within 2 hours before your test. Now, this is if you really want to get a good solid baseline. And you're going to want to get a baseline in order to do the calibration. You're going to see that too. Be still, stable, and quiet during the test. And please try handheld or wet the electrodes if the ECG is disordered or has no wave. Okay? Keep electrodes closely touched with the body. That's about the health data measurement. Change phone to operate. When your Android phone connects with a bracelet, if you use another phone, this is how you deal with that. If you're switching between iOS and Android, you have to kind of do a little bit more and restore the factory settings before going back to Android. Different operational tactics. So if you do both Android and iOS, read about that one. Now, why need to measure high blood pressure after input blood pressure reference value calibration? There is relation between body blood pressure and calibration value. We can check body blood pressure throughout calibration value. High blood pressure and low blood pressure have obvious differences due to individual physical differences. So pressure patients can get more accurate data if measured after setting the calibration value. I think what they're saying is if you're prone to low blood pressure and you calibrate it for that, then the measurement it's going to take is going to be more accurate because it will deal with that differently, probably in the way it assesses the wave as it calculates all of that, than it would be if you are prone to high blood pressure. So you can do it just taking the normal values, but if you calibrate it first, you're going to be more likely to have higher accuracy. And calibration is really cool on this thing. It really is. Okay, reasons you might have inaccurate data is the wearing manner. You want to completely touch with your skin and keep your hand and heart at the same level. This is a blood pressure monitoring thing, so you got to do all those kind of things. If your hand has many hairs, well, your wrist really, please add water to make it wet and be quiet when you do the measurement, okay? All right, ECG introduction. Electrocardiogram. In each heart cardiac cycle, the pacemaker, atrial, and ventricle have been excited, accompanied by changes of bioelectric through ECG recording from the surface leads to a variety forms of electrical potential changes, which is short for ECG. ECG is objective indicator of heart exciting spread recovery process. There is obvious difference between action point bitmap recording from single excited cardiac cell and each heart cardiac cycle ECG. Got that? Good. Just basically, you're measuring your electrocardiograph information from collecting data through these three metal sensors on your skin. And this is where I was saying, depending on if you wear it on your left or right arm, the silly chart might actually go backwards. So if you're left-handed, make sure you have set in the settings that you're wearing it on your left arm. So I'm going to go back over here to the app. I'm going to come over here to Health. And I'm going to pull down and let it synchronize. Now, it's sending over not just the numbers of the readings that it got, but it's sending over that entire chart, which you're going to see here in a minute. I hope. I go over here to sport, shows the steps I've taken. I haven't done the sleeping yet. And here's the PPG heart rate information. Average sleep, heart rate, highest, lowest, all this kind of data can accumulate over time. Back here, I wanted to give us time for it to come in. So it's measuring 178 beats per minute. It's getting 124/80 as my blood pressure. And here is my heart rate analysis. When I come in here, it's saying that I have no abnormalities in terms of the heart rate variability. Heart rate variability is the distance between the heart beeps, right? If it's not eccentric, then I guess everything is fine. And anyway, it's basically telling me my ECG has no abnormalities. But that's not very much information. Let's take a look at it. Here's the actual reading of my heart rate as measured by the band when you saw me collecting this data. And it shows it to you live reading here. Now, not live, but recorded. It's actually been recorded. It's not showing me on the band directly, the live, of course, because it has too small of a display. But it's showing it to me here across the screen. But wait, there's more. Health report generates the whole thing. There it is. Mr. Smartwatch ticks, male, age 24, height 170, weight 65. Again, this is basic information. That's adjustable any way you want to match you. The average heart rate through the whole 30 seconds was 78 beats per minute. Here's the tag information across the bottom. And boom, I can hit that button in the upper right-hand corner. I can email it out. I can post it to Twitter or Facebook. I can do all sorts of things with it because it's available to me, and I can actually share it as a PDF. So when you share it as PDF, it can be opened up by your health professional if you email it to them in a standard Adobe Acrobat kind of a way. You know, any PDF reader would be able to display the intricacies of your heart rate. Now, I can't pinch and zoom. I can't expand it in this format on this phone. But obviously, if it's a PDF, you can expand it all you want to. And your health provider knows about all these little subtle things in here beyond what you're looking at here. Cool, huh? Well, that's all fine and dandy, but it's not calibrated. No, I didn't actually calibrate this one. So I'm going to go back here, and you see, I can't take a measurement from the app unless I calibrate first. So I'm going to do that. As excited and hyper and wound up as I am, I'm going to pretend right now that I am relaxed, just got up. I'm going to set my baseline heart rate by tapping calibration. And here's where you got two different options. You can go to a graded calibration where you say, I'm medium, or medium rare, or medium well, or well done. You can set your grade of calibration if you think you're typically a little bit high, you know, even though the doctor says you got to be on meds or whatever. You could choose that, and you could confirm it. Great. We're not going to go there. We're going to go precise. I mean, precise. Okay? Enter a medical value. 120/80, I think, is typically what you get. Backspace, I don't know, 80. Confirm that. And then it says, for accuracy, please be quiet for 5 minutes and no smoking, drinking. We all saw that a little while ago, right? Keep the electrodes closely touched with your body. Confirm. Are we ready? Okay. I'm going to say start measuring. Look, I'm in another screen now where it's actually showing these. Let's move this over a bit. The lighting's going to be kind of funky here because I need to keep this right, but I need to also be able to show you the band. How can we get this all in the screen together? Because I have to actually have the band on me. Okay, I'm going to say start measuring. It says poor contact. I'm going to touch it now. It's got contact, and there it goes. It's actually showing you in the top the ECG from the electrodes, and in the bottom, the wave that's being created from the optical reading, the PPG. Now later, at the end of this video, when you go through the technical details, of how these two get married together to give you accurate data. You're going to learn about a PWTT, pulse wave time tracker or something or other. Anyway, and that's really, really cool. There, I'm calibrated. I'm fully calibrated. The whole heart wave has been calibrated now so that if I do a measurement from here, not from the band now, I'm actually measuring it from the app and confirm it. Start measurement. I got 4 seconds to get my finger over there. It's there, and boom. Now it's actually doing a measurement. And that measurement is highly accurate because it's calibrated to coincide with my default level that it just acquired when I created my default measurement. And that's really cool. I mean, this is, they talk medical grade, but wow. Everything. And you're getting a whole chart. You're getting your whole ECG+PPG chart information here. That's just been measured. It's all in here in my data. Now, if I go back to my sports, I'm not sure if it has to wait for the end of the day. I guess it does to calibrate all of this. Yeah, I can't update it. But you can go, back and forth by day. You can get your data all in through here when you've had enough data. But here in the health thing, okay, it's showing that my heart rate variability health index right now is good. It's at 80. It's not like really low, which it would be if I was quiet and mellow. And it's not like way up here. Oh, other way around. It's not optimal. It's not general. I guess higher is better, the optimal. But it's giving me my health index, okay. And here's my heart rate information over the past couple of measurements. Here's the heart rate chart information. It says 78 is where I'm coming in. Heart rate under quiet condition. Yeah. And then the other one, you've got the ECG blood pressure. 119 was, I guess, the newest measurement. The first one that I did earlier before calibrating was right here. Let's take a look at this one. Here's the systolic showing me 119, right in that range, over 76. And there's those charts. Great detail coming through on this app. And this one, again, is where you get the actual charts themselves. So it's by newest at the top. It loads the charts, and you can start playback of both of the graphs right there at the same time. You know, it doesn't turn and go the other direction, unfortunately. It's just going to show it to you this way. But again, it's not a problem. If you just want to take a generic look to make sure that the data looks correct, that's great. But if you want to see the whole thing, you go to the health report, let it generate it, and wow, there it is. There it is. Create a PDF, email it out to yourself, archive it, send it to your doctor, whatever you want to do with it. All from this tiny little band, all from this thing. Whoa, nice, huh? Now, I want to show you one last thing before we wrap this thing up. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to go and do another measurement. And get ready. Here we go. I want you to pay attention to this thing because I start the measurement, poor contact. Now I've got contact. I got my hand on the button. Okay, it's doing it right now. Can you see me over here? Can you see the chart? I'm going to wiggle it a little bit. I'm going to mess around with it. I'm going to take my finger off. Poor contact. Good contact. Poor contact. Good contact. Wiggle, 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 wee. Now, you see the thing that's on the screen of the band is certainly not moving around. That's just an icon. But what it's collecting actually here, okay, it's giving me that data, which is erroneous. I am getting erroneous data here. It's saying heart rate is too fast, but the data is all screwed up. So I'm going to confirm it so that you can see it. And I don't want to start a measurement here. I want to go back to the data itself. Heart rate too fast, see that? And I'm going to come in here and go to my health report because I want you to see what the data look like. You see the times that I was messing around with it? This thing is real, folks. It's real. Yeah. All right. Wow. Do I have a source for you on this? If I do, I'll have it in the show notes. This is coming straight from the manufacturer or the producer, the company that's created it, Toledo. So your feedback in the comments section about this device will be going, and I'm sure read directly from the company. They're not in the business of selling these things. They're in the business of making them. So whatever you like or don't like, this is a place that you may actually get the ear of somebody that matters, all right? So check the show notes for information we'll have. So how about some real-life data? I've spent about 4 days with a band, and I've got some really good data to show you. And the data you're about to see would be similar to, if not identical, from any of the supporting bands or watches that are professing to do ECG plus PPG measurement technology. They'll all be working with apps from this particular company. Now, let me show you. Check your app when you're looking to see what it tethers to for the band that you're interested in buying. Make sure it's either Wear Heart or Go Heart or one or more of these other ones. Okay? That's because these are the type of apps that will let you capture your heart wave. And they look somewhat like this. There's a page that shows you information. Another page where you do your calibration and measurement of all the ECG information. Something about connecting with friends. And then your overall settings. Looks a little familiar to what we just saw, right? This is the Wear Heart app. Now, if I take us into the Go Heart, which is the one that I've actually been using and you're about to see the data on, you'll notice that it has the same concept layout but with pretty pictures. It's been dressed up a little bit, but it's pretty much the same app. So you could use Wear Heart or Go Heart. And I believe there's at least one more in here. Let's try Fit Live. And look, you're getting the same display. So we have a variety of different apps by different names that do exactly the same overall function. So check it out. Like I said, we're going to actually use the Go Heart app, which is where I have all the data on the band that I've used for collecting it. Roll to refresh, and there's my data so far for today. Let's dive into this. The sports shows you hour by hour against the bar graph with no measurements on the side, how many steps you've taken, your calories burned, and your mileage. If we look at yesterday, here was my distribution from midnight to midnight, and how many steps. And I go back another day and I've got that. So that's some of the information that we get. If I show you on a weekly basis, you see the total weekly steps broken down by day and total mileage and calories burned for the week or for the whole month. Interesting, huh? Okay. When we look at sleep, this is the sleep monitoring of the night before. So this is last night's sleep, 6 hours, 37 minutes, deep, light, and how long I stayed up, which I think was when I got up this morning, decided to lay back down and hold real still and pretend to be asleep. Shh, don't tell anybody. But I got some extra light sleep by pretending, holding my arm real still. But the awake was, getting up and moving around, getting some water, going to the bathroom, and then coming back and laying down for a little bit at about 7:02. But when I got up after that, I was up, and it logged it as 6.5 hours, and my sleep target of 82%, wanting 8 hours, and wake up time 3. I have it on different days. Here's the night before. The night before that, I didn't wear it on purpose. And I don't have any erroneous time. This is a good check when you have a device to see whether or not you get bogus information when you're not even wearing it. And the night before is when I actually started wearing it. So I got 3 days out of 4. What's it look like weekly? Sure enough, I got the bar graph showing the hours and my average weekly sleep time and the time I stayed up intermittently between the time of going to sleep and waking up. And then, of course, there's a monthly. Again, my monthly average time. Really slick, huh? Okay. That's a sleep time. Then we get into here, and this is the, what did they call it? PPG-HR. Remember, this is optical, and this is heart rate or pulse. So this is the last pulse rate display of the every hour that I'm accumulating my heart rate right now. And these are this is the information of the heart rate that it was able to detect from low to high and average, and my last night's sleep average heart rate. Yes, it was doing that while I was asleep. Yesterday, I took it off for a while. I did some really good exercise, I guess. Well, this says highest was 95. I have a day that I did more exercise, so let's look at that. Here we go, 102. Well, that was at midnight. Maybe it was like fumbling around. Sometimes you'll see an erroneous one pop up. You just got to kind of ignore it. The day before that is here, and then I think that's about it. No more data. Look at that. It doesn't just go back and show you 0. It knows that I didn't start until then. All right, I guess that day with 102 was my workout day. So that's this first screen, your steps, your sleeping, and your heart rate. Then you get to the brand new stuff. We've seen this briefly before in what you just watched. This is the accumulated data now. I have the calibration we went through, and then I can do a measurement directly here, or I can do it on the band, capture it there by clicking on the button that says ECG+PPG. And remember it said to the app? Well, believe it, you have to send it to the app. You have to sync it up after you take that data, because if you go and do another measurement, it wipes the other one out and puts in the new measurement in the watch. You have to transfer them one by one. I found that out. Don't think you can do 3 or 4 of them during your run on your watch by itself, and all of them will transfer to the phone. It won't, just the most recent one. So if you're going to do the readings of the ECG+PPG on the watch or on the band, make sure you transfer it to your phone before you do another one. This one doesn't matter because you're doing it right on the device itself. You just tap measurement, gives you the countdown, and you can collect the data right here. And what are we collecting? We're collecting the ECG heart rate now. This is different than the PPG one. And when you look in here, I haven't done it at all today, but if I go back to yesterday, these are my readings, 80, 65, 64. When you go into it, it talks a little bit about where you are in the heart rate under quiet conditions. All right? Doesn't change. So it's just kind of giving you a information sheet and your total up at the top. Not a lot of data there, so you could just work off of this if you wanted to. The ECG blood pressure, nothing today, but there's the ones from yesterday. And again, if I touch it, it tells me a little bit about systolic, low, ideal, high, and diastolic, and the chart under low pressure. And it gives me my readings, systolic and diastolic. And again, if I took another one, this hasn't changed, so this is information, but there's your data, which again you got right on the chart itself. However, the third button, this is the one that's your entire ECG. Way cool. This was the one, and I don't have any data again for today, but here's the 3 that I had that we just looked at from yesterday. And if I go into it, and I showed you this already, I can start the playback of that particular one, and over time, looping back on itself, you're seeing simultaneously the ECG reading and the PPG reading. Right? And it'll do that for the 30 seconds that it's accumulating. Or you can hit the health report, it generates it, and you get the chart. Now, I saw something that was like really interesting when we were doing the setup, and it said, ask you if you're wearing it on your left or your right arm, because it made a difference. It said that these little peaks that you see going up will be backwards or upside down if you don't wear it on the right arm. Wow, Mr. Tix isn't Mr. Tix if he doesn't check that out, right? So, my first 2 readings of this day, I had the band that's on my left arm actually on my right arm, and I did the reading anyway.